would be 05, 06, that Carter 2 had just come out, and you were just emerging as the most dominant in the rap game, and he was emerging obviously as the rookie of the year in the NBA. Did you connect some point when he first came to New Orleans, which is your hometown?
I did because he actually had a condo. He had a condo, and we had a condo in the same building. And of course, I got season tickets, and once I got season tickets, we became brothers, man. Of course, along with his brother CJ and his whole family, his mom, everybody all just embraced me as like a brother, like one of them.
And it feels to me, knowing you the way I know you, that you do consider Chris seriously like a real brother, right?
A real brother. For real, a real brother. Chris has been there for me during the dark times. I've been there right up there, I'm gonna say.
So, can you share a little bit of what he yelled in your ear and you yelled back in his ear while you were embracing last night?
First thing he said was, like, you deserve, you gotta be over here, you've been with me from day one, you've been with me. And then the only thing I said back to him, I kept repeating the same thing, you deserve this. You deserve this.
Wow. And then what happened after the game? Did you go somewhere with the family to celebrate?
No, actually, I had to shoot a video.
Oh, did you?
I had to go to the video set, yeah.
Wait, tell him you ain't just watch that man put in work. That just because he put in work, that don't mean my work stopped. I gotta have to do my thing.
I gotta do my thing. I had to go put in my work, right?
Man, I believe this means everything to Chris. When you play 16 years and you were as accomplished as he is, and never to ever have gotten a bite, let alone eaten, you had a bite of the fruit. I mean, now he has the fruit in his hand. It's up to him to win 4 games and actually bite that fruit. Now he gets to cement his name. It's kind of like you knew what you could do. You just needed that opportunity. He got with a team that had some young guys that just needed some direction, just needed some leadership. They got the right coach in Monty Williams. DeAndre Ayton is a rising big man. Devin Booker is an assassin. He's a bucket getter. And now you bring Chris Paul with that leadership. They're going to the NBA Finals. What do you think this moment means to him right now in winning a championship? What would that mean to Chris?
I think me, you, Skip, and Miss Jenny, and everybody watching, that would mean more than the world to Chris. For Chris, I think all the things we keep hearing about, about the asterisks and all that, who's hurt and who's not. I know one person who that does not mean a thing to, and that's CP.
So you did also go to Phoenix for Game 5.
Yeah.
What was the mood like at the end of that game among the Suns fans? And I assume you talked to Chris after that game also, right?
All right.
Yeah. The mood amongst the fans were, they were, there's some great people out there, Skip. They were so happy that the team was just where they are. And they also very confident. They confident like the team. And so they kind of, it's kind of like they was okay. Everybody was okay. Like no panic. What that guy number 12 said?
What? Yeah, shit over my head. We were talking during the break, and when you were in Phoenix, you said a certain gentleman that played for the opposing team that happened to shove CP3 in the back. You said he struck up a conversation with you when you were on the sideline. Can you care to share about what he was talking about?
Coincidentally, I had a nice little orange button down on. He just wanted to make sure, he just making sure like, man, you're rooting for you, man, you got the orange on and all that. I was like, little laugh, little chuckle. Pat been my dog though. Pat been he been rocking with me since day one. Pat been rocking with me.
Are you surprised that he did that to Chris at the time at the break, that he shoved him in the back like he did?
I would say I would be surprised at the severity of it. Surprised at him doing it. Surprised at what he do now is never surprising. But going that far, yeah.
So what was Chris's mood like in the Phoenix locker room after that Game 5 home loss, coming back to Staples for Game 6?
These words, it was real short and quick, was be there. It's like, be there, I need you to be there. And
you to relay that to me. I could have got me about 40 cases of Nuka. If CP3 say be there, we taking it. I got 50 cases on the Suns.
Well, Wayne, you also told me that after the Game 3 loss at Staples, obviously they came down 0-2. The Clippers down 0-2, but Clippers won Game 3, and you told me Chris told you right after the game we're going to win it in 6, right? And he was dead on the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. We win it in 6. We win this thing in 6. Playoff P, Master P, Suns in 6.
Stop it.
It don't matter. It don't matter to P. It don't matter to P. It don't matter. It's 6.
So, Wayne, speaking of playoff P, what did you see through this series from Paul George?
I saw Paul George. To me, I saw Paul George go back to that very disciplined player that can get everything you want out of him when he was in Indiana. That's what I saw. That's the Paul George I saw this whole playoff. Especially when times got tough. He turned, back then I thought that back then when he was with Indiana, he was just so disciplined. Type of guy that, type of guy scored touch. I'm using these analogies. Scored a touchdown and wouldn't celebrate. He was that kind of guy. You know what I mean? And that's who he turned into again.
Not so much last night, though.
But here's the thing, though. There's the difference. We got a lot of these young rappers. They coming up and they say, well, he this, well, he that one. But they ain't Weezy. They can't do what you do when they just say, come in the studio. Hey, I need you to come in the studio and drop this track for me. You show up and you drop that track and that thing fire. Because with the expectation, they already know when Baby get on that feature, they already know how you gonna do it. So now the expectations of Paul George after what he did in Phoenix, hey, we need you on this track. Can you do that thing again? And he could claim on this feature and let us down. Now we gotta find somebody else to put on the feature.
I mean, don't even do it again if you're not going to do it better than the last time.
Wayne, we are happy for you. We're happy for Chris Paul. It was a great moment to see. I know they're not done, but I can't let you leave undisputed before I ask you about LeBron.
Yeah.
The Lakers have won it this year. If they were healthy, don't go anywhere. More with Wayne after the break.
Good shot.
Would ask the question. You had opportunities on multiple occasions to put yourself in a situation to go after the chip, and instead elected to go after the money. To that you said,
With who though? Who was my option?
well, again,
The Miami situation, that was just an idea, right? That wasn't even. That was just at the idea stages, right? And I was about to sign shortly after that conversation, right? The New York Knicks situation, I was going to Chicago. Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, I was there, right? I was there. And then I started getting whispers behind the scenes. Yo, look, this person ain't gonna be there. It ain't really right. This and that, and it was all of that started to come up in the midst of my decision making. I wasn't gonna let anything cloud that. I met with New York last. They was the last team I met with because I knew that I was ready to move on from that situation because of what I was dealing with and going through in New York. After that, I met with New York the last meeting and said, tell me what you're gonna do for the organization, for us to put a team together to go compete and try to win. That was my conversation with them. A lot of things that was promised, a lot of things that was said. And I said, you know what, because I belong in New York, I'm gonna roll with you. I'm gonna roll with you.
that sounds great. It's believable. But the flip side to it is that people will look at it and they will say, Carmelo Anthony, you've been in the league for 16 years. You've been to one conference championship. You've never played in an NBA Finals. Your man, LeBron James, 9 NBA Finals, 3 championships. D. Wade, your other brother, 5 NBA Finals appearances, 3 championships.
Can't compare.
That's right. Can't compare. How do you feel about that? How does that make you feel, particularly when you're in their presence?
As a competitor, in
Bars is back in.
Hip-hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip-hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. On God driving, Sam and ride passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper.
Every time news comes out about Casanova, 2 times it gets worse and worse. From him crying behind bars, to him talking about he's not getting support, to his bail being denied. This story right here is the tip of the iceberg. Now, if you guys can remember first, Casanova was arrested back in November of 2020 on numerous RICO charges. Now an associate of Casanova is facing the death penalty. That's right. Now, Casanova affiliate Stacks is one of the 18 members of the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation who was charged with racketeering last November and December by the feds. But unlike Casanova, who remains behind bars awaiting trial and is facing life in prison, Soto is reportedly a candidate for the death penalty. Now, we know that Casanova is not the most that he can actually get sentenced to is life. Now, according to allhiphop.com, prosecutors claim that Soto participated, wait till you guys hear this, right? Participated in the September 2020 murder of a 15-year-old named, I'm just going to put his last name up there, Jones. Now, Soto's Instagram account, cell phones would detail his involvement in the murder plot, according to the authorities. Now, they say Soto is accused of driving, the unidentified shooter to Poughkeepsie, New York, and his vehicle was caught allegedly on surveillance camera, and they said he was dropping off the man, then ended up driving to Brooklyn. All this happened, they're saying, the night that the 15-year-old was killed. Now, after locating the vehicle, the officers actually put the vehicle in the impound lot, but somehow members of the Gorilla Stone Nation stole the vehicle, allegedly, set it on fire in a secluded, part of Manhattan. So because of all of this, Casanova affiliate is facing the death penalty. Now you got 18 members now of the Gorilla Stone Nation facing the death penalty. You gotta almost count on at least one or a few of those guys turning federal witnesses and going after whoever the alleged leader is. Now right now we don't have any word on anybody turning on anybody, but you almost get somebody's probably gonna flip, and it's not gonna be a good situation for them. So once again, Casanova is facing life in prison. He was denied bond, and I think his trial is due to happen probably sometime before next summer, and we should keep you guys updated on that, as long as there's some updates about it. But not looking good, man, for Casanova. You would always hope, one thing you can hope, if you had a federal charge and you're facing life, is to be able to fight from outside the wall. The chances are already slim to none that you're going to win, but you want the opportunity to fight outside the wall. He's not going to get the opportunity, at least as of right now. He'll still be sitting in there. What do you guys think about this, man? What do you think about Casanova, 2-time, an associate of his, facing the death penalty, and him facing life right now, man? It was all good just a week ago. And here's what I'll say, man. I'll go out on a limb and I'll say this. I mean, one thing I think that these, gangsters, active gang members turned rappers have to understand is that the Fed's number one priority, number one target is going after gangs. You gotta understand that. They're looking to smack the RICO on a lot of these rappers, man. This is out of their own mouth. So, word to the wise. They're watching your social media. They're watching your Instagram. They're watching your transactions. They got rats around you. They got wires. They looking at cameras that you travel. They got probably somebody in your crew that's can feed them information. This is how vital and how serious it is. So everybody, you need to keep your head definitely on the swivel and get out of that life, man. If you can, I'm not, I understand the element of the street and whatnot. Some guys, feel like they have no other choice. Even when they become rappers, they can remain connected because that's all they know. But just know that the Fed's #1 priority is to pop you and make you an example in front of the world. Because again, you're the big fish. Imagine the investigators, the agents that took down Casanova. Like that's like that's like them being a Hollywood star. Like, oh, I got it. That's a notch on their belt. So all I'm saying is be careful and turn that. When you get an opportunity to flip it all the way and keep it 100%, man, and do the right thing. But hey, this is what OGAB and Hip Hop News Uncensored. What do you guys think about Casanova affiliate facing life in prison, or the death penalty in prison, for the murder of a 15-year-old boy? It don't get no crazier than this. All right, man, leave your comment. Go ahead and...
This is a job for the double 18. At Average, we the rich own this new 65-inch flat screen phone.
Okay, so you don't know if he was really dissing you or not. It was just he put "Foolio" on the song and that's it.
He was like, when the song said just like this, "What you on, Foolio, bitch ass boy?" Something. It's some more shit. That was one song. Another one come on, "Foolio, you a bitch." That's 2 strikes. I'm like, who the fuck he talking about? I'm looking at the views and shit. What the fans gonna do? The fans gonna spam you in the comments, tag, "Yo, young boy." They gonna start it up, So I'm like, damn, like, is he talking about me? And then it just so happened he got booked for a show in Jacksonville and we followed his ass. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's sitting in jail right now.
Yeah, free that boy. I ain't know about it.
He's facing. I actually brought in a lawyer to break down his case, and I mean, it's a mess right now.
Damn.
He's facing mandatory minimums. He was caught, with a gun in his video shoot, and then when they pulled him over, they found another gun on him.
Yeah.
And he's already on probation over some shit from a few years ago. Someone who's so on top of his game to be sitting in a jail cell right now, doing nothing, just wasting his time, is sad. Because he's got the career that I think most rappers want. He's on top of his game. He drops whatever he wants to drop. He doesn't have to do radio songs, and it goes crazy. He's touring all around, and now he's just sitting in a cell, losing probably $100 million, just sitting there doing nothing.
And Vlad, bro, you want me to be completely honest with you, bro? That come with like, I be watching him sometimes. That come his circle, bro. Like, his circle is full of like yes men, like do boys, so they not gonna tell him he wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, with my circle right now, they gonna tell me when I'm right and when I'm wrong. Like, you don't need to post that. Like we don't need to do like that. It's extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, just calm down, bro. Like right now, I ain't in the hood 24/7 no more. Like, you don't gotta do that no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do that from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't set yourself up for failure. Like, if you know you a felon, what you got guns in your video for? Like me, I'm not no felon, so I don't think about that. But if you know you a felon, what you putting guns in your video? You know what I'm saying? You the brand, so if you go down, who you gonna have? You know what I'm saying? That's what I observed from that whole situation,
Well, speaking of the Suns, they actually knocked LeBron out in the first round.
Yeah, that's been. But see, that was I'm not gonna say good for them, but them working on Anthony Davis's limbs. A lot of people say, "Man, the guy stays hurt." Well, he's 7'2". These limbs are much different than other people's limbs. Putting the stress you put on them, right?
Really?
These are like skis.
Okay, so you're saying that being that height, your legs just function completely differently than someone who's like 6 feet, 6'5"?
Yeah, like
really?
even lifting weights, right?
Huh.
So my lever is different. Look, it's way different than yours.
Huh.
So a 60-pound weight on my arm is different than a 60-pound weight
right.
with those guys with those short levers. And then they lift wrong. And I don't want to get to like 150 kg so bad, but like I have this machine. I can't really talk about, but it literally helps
helps you balance and put your body back into, and all you do is standing on it. Guys are throwing weights on their shoulders. Big men throwing that much weight on your shoulder. My spine is a foot longer than everyone else's. Like people don't. Well, he's big. He should be, but they don't realize what the body is taking. And as soon as I know Achilles, knee, as soon as I hear ankle, as soon as I hear that, that means the muscles above it are not working properly, because those are your shock absorbers. So if a joint is getting hurt, that means the thigh is really bad. For ankle, that's the calf. Foot, that's the calf. So, and then once they don't work on that properly, they don't massage it properly, they don't build the muscle back properly, then it's in your hips and your lower back, because your legs are not doing what they're supposed to do. I used to wear knee pads. Dr. J said, "Why are you wearing knee pads?"
Like in games?
Yeah, I used to wear knee pads.
Okay.
And he go, "Why are you wearing knee pads?" I said, "Because you wear knee pads." He goes, "Your knee doesn't hurt?" "Yeah, it hurts right here." He said, "But why are you wearing knee pads?" And I was like, "I just told you. Dr. J wears a knee pad. I guess his knee hurts. When I feel my knee, I'm putting on." I went to one Dr. J house. And I was right but wrong. And he was like, "Nah, you have to get deep muscle massages in your quad. And you have to break down all that and strengthen your quad back so your knee doesn't hurt." And I was like, wow.
You know, I remember when we did an interview with Ricky Williams.
Come on, man, for real, come on,
about
man.
how, like, his first year, remember there was this big, huge, like, trade.
Quit, you should just quit.
Mike Ditka, literally took him and had no other players. It was this crazy trade where he had one player for his team and nobody else. And then he got hurt that first season, and he said he just went into the locker room and just bawled like a baby. And then, the whole team came in to see him, and he was just bawling. And what he said was, that was the point that he realized that there's got to be more to his life than this roller coaster of professional sports. Because at any moment, totally out of your control sometimes, you get injured, and then all your future plans just go down the drain.
I thought I had come out of the pit, and I just realized I had just fallen back into it. And so it was humbling. It was humbling, and it was difficult. But the positive side is it got me to realize, if I put all my eggs in this football basket, this is what my life is going to be like. It's up to the football gods, and I realized I need to find something else that I'm interested in, so that I'm not on this roller coaster of good game, bad game, hurt, healthy, And so I started developing other parts of myself.
Well, that's a mentality as well. And I'm just going to say, the reason, it's so funny, when people used to think I was so serious about saying Michael Jordan, I would do it because I just don't like I know people don't know the history of the game. And they only know what they're told when they turn it on. And so I said, my favorite player was Bernard King. Bernard King, if anybody from Brooklyn at that time would know, if you were like Bernard or Albert King, but Bernard King was the man. And when Bernard blew his knee up, you would think it was totally over. And then Bernard worked. Next thing you know, he's getting 50 a game again. Couldn't do it like he was always doing it, but Kobe blew out his Achilles, limped off court. You see him train to get it back.